It was a cold, crisp evening when Daniel returned home from the office party. His company had hosted the annual event at a posh hotel, a gathering filled with laughter, clinking glasses, and the usual office banter. He was in high spirits, having won an award for his outstanding performance, but his mood would quickly shift when he noticed something was amiss at home. As he entered the house, he found his wife, Maria, sitting on the couch, her face blank, as if she were waiting for him. She greeted him with a forced smile, but her eyes gave away the truth. There was something wrong. Daniel had always trusted Maria. They had been married for 7 years, and while they had their ups and downs, he never doubted her faithfulness. But that night, something gnawed at him. He had seen her speaking with a colleague, a charming and outgoing man named Victor, during the party. The way they exchanged glances, the way her smile lingered a little too long, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was going on. As they settled into their usual routine, Daniel couldn't shake the suspicion. Days passed, but the unease in his gut only grew stronger. He started noticing little changes in Maria's behavior. She was distant, her phone was always out of sight, and she seemed distracted, as though her mind was elsewhere. One evening, while Maria was in the shower, Daniel stumbled upon her phone left unattended on the kitchen counter. The temptation to look was overwhelming. His heart raced as he unlocked the phone with the code he had never bothered to memorize, trusting her completely. The messages were there, plain as day. There was no ambiguity. Victor's name appeared repeatedly in intimate exchanges that left nothing to the imagination. Maria had been having an affair with him for months. Each message, each word felt like a stab to Daniel's heart. He could barely breathe as he scrolled through the texts. The betrayal, the lies, they were all right there, in black and white. For a moment, Daniel considered confronting Maria immediately, but something inside him snapped. This wasn't just about infidelity, it was about revenge. She had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed, and he wasn't going to let her get away with it without feeling the weight of her actions. He knew this was the only chance he had to restore his dignity, to regain control over the situation. The days that followed were filled with a chilling silence. Daniel's behavior shifted from the loving husband to a man on a mission. He acted as though nothing had changed. He was the same supportive partner Maria had always known. But inside, he was plotting his revenge. He knew the perfect way to get back at her. It wasn't about rage or violence. It was about making her feel the same hollow emptiness he felt when he read those messages. He started by taking care of all the things Maria had neglected. He began to organize their finances, setting up accounts in his name, moving money around, and securing assets. He subtly started distancing himself from her, pulling away emotionally while continuing to act normal on the surface. He even began making plans to travel without her, business trips, conferences, anything that gave him the chance to be away from her, to live his life independently. The turning point came when he told her he had been offered a new job opportunity abroad. It was the perfect ruse. He had already arranged for the sale of their home, and the paperwork for their assets had been signed, all in his name. He made it seem like a sudden, unplanned decision. Maria, caught off guard, tried to convince him to stay, but Daniel remained resolute, his mind already set on his plan. The final blow came when he told her he would be leaving for a few months. He made sure she knew the real reason, that he needed space, time away from everything, to rediscover who he was, far away from the painful memories they had built together. He handed her divorce papers, as coldly as if he were discussing a business transaction, and then walked out the door. Maria was left in a whirlwind of confusion and regret. The affair with Victor, which she had thought would be her secret, was now exposed, and the reality of her actions began to sink in. She tried to contact Daniel, but he had already moved on. The house was sold, the accounts were transferred, and Daniel had left without a trace. He didn't want to be with someone who had betrayed him so completely, and he wasn't going to let her off easy. Months later, Daniel found happiness again, far away from the woman he had once loved. He rebuilt his life from the ground up, free from the shadows of his past. As for Maria, the consequences of her affair haunted her. She had lost the one person who truly mattered, and no amount of regret could undo the damage. Daniel's revenge wasn't just about the affair, it was about taking back control of his life and showing Maria the consequences of betraying someone who trusts.